Good morning, mathematicians. How's it going? I guess you can see my travel plans. It's going to be a short one today because I have something to do from at 8:30. Oh, volume's a little high on this, maybe. I have not made any actual videos for a while, not even a short. That's bad. I've been bad. I mean, actually, I haven't been bad because that means I've been doing things I'm supposed to be doing instead of whatever else. I have not made any actual video. Oh well. I think I want to yap about someone in a Discord server I'm in was asking about the Satake isomorphism. Good morning. Good morning. Messaged. Is that how I say it? I have no idea. Apologies. Luna, you're about to take off on a flight. Oh, nice. Safe travels. So only stay for about 10 minutes. You know who? You know Luna, or you know me? I guess you two know each other in chat. That's awesome. That's awesome. Coming through again with the incredible inventive ways to say hello. Love to see it, chat. Love to see it. So let's just get right into things. I want to describe the most smooth brain way to think about the Satake isomorphism. Because there's something like approximately 4 different flavors of the classical Satake isomorphism. And then you can also beef it up to the geometric Satake isomorphism, which I'm not going to talk about today. But I will talk about the classical one. And, well, in fact, I'll even just start for GLN, but the story's not much different, actually, for the other basic matrix groups. So we might even talk about those. Hello, Femno. Good morning, Femno. So, long-time viewers of the live streams will remember the fact that the smooth characters of the torus. Valonin is from your home university. Oh, nice. Nice, yeah. There's definitely... our group is definitely... there's some papers of Merkovich Valonin that we... quite a few papers that we dig into. Yeah. Is Valonin responsible for the geometric Satake isomorphism? That makes sense. I'm not actually sure. I don't know my history there. Let me see. Oh, yeah. There we go. Yeah, proved by Merkovich and Valonin. I mean, that makes perfect sense. What's happening here? Writing a research paper and doing high-level maths or physics stuff? Well, this is some high-level math that we're talking about today. Yeah, but we're going to talk about the lower level version, which is still, arguably high level math, but the lower level version. Hello, Deepak. Hello, Deepak. Good morning. So the smooth characters of basically a torus, and again, I'm going to go do the complete, smooth brain way of talking about this. So you just take your, in fact, let's even say QP. QP cross, right? Your torus, which we're going to view, I mean, we'll view this as actually, we'll view this as sitting inside GLN. So really this is the diagonal invertible matrices. And each of our characters will be given by just taking our p-adic absolute value of each of the entries, putting it to some complex number, and there you go. Where, like this is well defined up to basically C modulo 2 pi I z to the n, right? Because we know if we add an integer multiple of 2 pi I in the exponent, we'll just get the same thing out, right? So in other words, our characters are completely represented by tuples. And if we arrange it so that the real parts are decreasing, then we've talked before about how the induced representation of this character from the torus, if you induce it up to GLN, this thing will have has a unique irreducible quotient. Any opinion on Sarah's book on trees? No, I've not read it. It seems cool. I'd love to read it one day, but you heard a seminar talk about amalgamated products and AMVS. And you got really excited and wanted to learn more about it, and your prof recommended that book. Yeah, I think yeah, it seems really cool, but does seem like a really cool book. I would like to read it one day, but there's a lot of books that seem really cool. That's the problem. Yeah, tuples, I just mean like a list of n things. So I just mean a list of n complex numbers modulo 2 pi I z. Does it have an orbifold structure, this quotient? Well, I don't even think it's an like it's basically just a manifold, I think. I mean, yeah. And actually there is something to that. Yeah, although, well, is that I normally don't, in this instance, I normally don't think about it as having topological structure. Oh, Meyer-Viatora sequence, right, that makes sense. Love hearing about this nonsense, but worried the stranger sitting next to you don't judge you too hard. Hey, we need to do more math in public. We all do. I once actually, yeah, it's funny. So of course, it's one thing to, like, if you're going to a conference or whatever, you might run into other math people at the airport. But one time I was just going somewhere just to visit a friend, and yeah, there was some woman sitting behind me talking to her friend about differential forms. And I was like, what? So I struck up a, brief conversation. That's funny. That's an interesting coincidence, because the odds that there's, like, what are even the odds that there's two people who know what differential forms mean in the airport at the same time? And then, keep in mind, this isn't a particularly large airport. Like, it was an international airport, but not a particularly large one. And then we happened to just sit by each other. Yeah, tuple or tuple, I mean, I don't know. That's how I pronounce it. Everything is free action. Yeah. Well, hang on. No, I guess there's maybe not, but I don't. I don't know. I don't. I don't think about it or. It's topological space, anyways. Wait, is that even true? Yes, it is. Yeah. Um, yeah, they think you making the bomb. Yeah, I mean, I would get paranoid if I was in the airport about you even like opening the screen. I remember once I was telling my friend about like how I'm like in the airport and I'm just like I don't know. Sometimes I get the uncontrollable urge to just yell things I shouldn't. Yes, you can expect office hours basically every day of the week, except the few times I say otherwise. But uh, uh, yeah, so of course I tell my friend I'm just so paranoid about the airport, and then but also simultaneously my brain is like telling me to like yell the word bomb or something, and then of course I'm in the airport and he's like in the group chat he's spamming messages like I'm trying to like work on my laptop, right, and there's pop-ups coming up. He's like bomb bomb bomb. Oh, silly guy. Found a math person in the wild. Yeah, crazy, right? That is not doesn't happen very often. I actually there was another guy this summer. I was at a music festival, local music festival here, and this guy had a shirt that said that had like the E8 lattice on it. And I think it said E8, and I was like, excuse me, like. I can't remember. I don't think he wasn't a mathematician or a physicist, but I think he was just. I think he just like I don't know, somehow came across this idea on the internet one day. He probably, there's like people who popularize it, these things. I don't know, maybe a lot of you are too young to remember, but there was this guy back in the day who was giving TED Talks about how he thought he had some theory of everything from the E8 lattice, which, didn't work out, but or, Eric Weinstein, I guess, is on podcasts and stuff, probably talking about E8 and whatnot. So I think it's in more of the public consciousness. It'd be cool to see me in a public, to see me lecture in public. Content idea, maybe. I've thought about, it would be funny. I wasn't actually thinking about this for doing content, but actually this would maybe make interesting content. I thought about, how you see like religious people like hanging out downtown with like handing out Bible flyers and stuff like that. I thought about hanging out downtown and having like cool math things to hand out to people. Or like door knocking, door knocking like Jehovah's Witnesses, but being like, oh, can I talk to you about, the beauty of mathematics, the inherent joys of deep intellectual thought and struggle. It's time for you to dip. Oh yeah, sorry, I saw that message. Yeah, the math reminds you of your advanced days. Can't understand anything. Well, I mean, there's the complex numbers. Maybe you can understand that. And look, the number 2 and the number pi. Surely you understand those parts. So you understand something. E8 is ubiquitous in particle physics as it encompasses whole standard model of particle physics and more. Yeah, I know there are some ways that it comes up, and I know it comes up in like certain flavors of string theory. Yeah, I know there are legitimate ways that it appears, as well. Yeah. So, anyways, oh, I guess we got other questions showing up here. Don't worry, there's no such thing as 2. Yeah, that's right. At least 2 isn't prime. We should toss it out like we got rid of 1. It doesn't belong. Could I explain why the Russell paradox was a huge problem in set theory, but the Banach-Tarski paradox is not? Yes, very simple. The Banach-Tarski paradox, despite its name, is not actually a paradox. There's nothing paradoxical about it. It is counterintuitive. It really, I call it the Banach-Tarski counterintuition, because that's all it is. Yeah, exactly what Ken's saying in the comments. It just goes against our intuitions. But that doesn't mean anything, right? Because it's like we built the real numbers in the image of the world in an effort to try and have a tool to understand the real world. And unsurprisingly, there's a limit to exactly how close the real numbers are to the real world, or to even say specifically how close R3 is to the real world. And if you believe in the axiom of choice, then you can prove the Banach-Tarski theorem, and you find this result that it's like, okay, there's here's one place where kind of the analogy between these things breaks down. But you know what? Because that proof depends on the axiom of choice, which is hard to really give any real world implications of. It's like that's a pretty safely stowed away part where the analogy breaks down, and the real numbers are still pretty useful for real world stuff. Yeah. I don't know if that sufficiently answers your question. Yeah, no, that's basically it. Yeah. Walk around with cardboard, free pizza if I explain you cohomology. Well, I'm not going down. I'm not spending what precious little grad stipend I have to give people pizza just so I can explain cohomology. But, yeah. I am a researcher. Try G advanced once. I don't know what you're talking about. I specialize in the Langlands program, local Langlands program specifically. And I guess even more specifically, I think about Vogan's version of geometrizing the local Langlands program. What does it mean for a proposition to be undecidable? Well, basically, it means that if you have some set of axioms and you assume some proposition, then if supposing that your original set of axioms was consistent, then this system will be consistent. But that also, if you add the negation of that proposition, again, assuming your original set of axioms was consistent, this would also be consistent. So, in particular, you can't prove P, nor can you prove not P from your axioms A. G is an advanced entrance exam. Oh, right. Yes, right. That's right. Right. Someone was saying I should try it on stream once. Yes. Okay, I forgot about that. Let me make a note. It's gonna be so bad. I'm gonna get brutalized. Probably. I'm probably. Because I'm sure there's it's probably like in some sense like the the GRE here, right? And there's a whole bunch of like probably basic things, but it's like things that you need to brush up on and study up on, and I'm probably gonna get brutalized doing it, but yeah. Today's a shortened one. I'm gonna go like pretty soon. So I'm definitely not doing it today, but yeah, I think sometime in the near future that could make for fun content. When writing formulas or doing any calculation, do you have like real-time image in your mind of these things in 3D changing or happening? I guess it depends on what it is, like, if it's just some long algebraic manipulation, then no, not really. I'm just sort of writing, I'm outsourcing the computational power to the page or to the whiteboard. This is what I tell students to do all the time because, a lot of students I find, they'll get an idea and then they'll talk themselves out of it before they even write the idea down on paper or something, or they'll try and work it all through their head before they start writing it down. And I'm like, no. You get the idea, start writing it. Then you don't, it's like your RAM, right? Your CPU power. You don't have to the step you're on doesn't have to stay in your working memory. You outsource it to the board and keep working through, but yeah, I mean, if it's something geometric, then yeah, I might be imagining some sort of something happening. What side of the Langlands project do I work on? What side do I work on? I guess I'm mostly thinking about how do I say this? I mean, so local Langlands program. You're going from, say, representations. I'm not just thinking about GLN, but for simplicity's sake, I'm thinking about representations here to again, this is a super simplified version of the story, to what would be called Langlands parameters. And then, so this is the representation theory side, and this is like the Galois representation side, because this has to do with Galois representations. But then Vogin comes up with a way of geometrizing this where you look at some sort of collection of Langlands parameters. And so I'm working on this variety a lot. So a geometric version of the Galois side of the local Langlands correspondence. I think about that thing quite a bit, but I mean, it's kind of both sides. You're trying to, import information back and forth. Isn't there some kind of paradox stating that if the Riemann hypothesis isn't decidable, then it has to be true? I don't know about that. Focus? More math? Sometimes I just want to yap, though, Literally 6-hour exam. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I'm doing the whole. I don't know if I'm doing the whole 6 hours. Maybe if I did some like charity live stream on a weekend or something. I don't know. I could do it. If I have a proposition which says for every n, x is true, what would be the conditions for determining if the problem is decidable or not? Well, that's tough. Is there something less than a proof which would be enough to conclude whether it is decidable? Yeah, I'm not a logician, but proving things are undecidable is generally not an easy task. Okay, there's probably some like fairly simple systems you can cook up, but yeah. So Hopf algebras are quantum groups, right? I don't know. I know very little. I know a little bit about Hopf algebras and basically nothing about quantum groups. Regular groups act on vector spaces as symmetries. What do quantum groups act on? Tensor categories? Probably. Sorry. Unfortunately, I just don't know. If RH is undecidable in ZFC, then it can be true or false without creating any contradictions. Yeah. Because if it was false and undecidable, Well, actually, no, that's not true what you say, Ken. That's not true what you say. It's not that it can be true or false without creating any contradictions. Wait. No, wait, that is right. uh, I mean, but it also, I mean, it could also be true but not provable. It could also be true but not provable. Um, that's obviously not the same as undecidable, though. If it was false and undecidable, there would be a root which you could find, and hence it would be decidable. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, I've got to cut it off there. I got a lot of stuff to do today, unfortunately. But you know me. I'll be back at it soon. I'll see y'all tomorrow, and I'll keep you up in. Until then, take what you've learned in this 30 minutes